This is Yerushalmi Shabbos in article Hozva edition with Mem Ches Amnav, the second line of the top Rabbi Lazar, and that is in the Vilna on the fifth line for the bottom of Lamed Ches Amud Beis. Rabbi Lazar Ochin Echar Shmiras Paschal. Korban says going to believe Askil Davar. Have in mind to start something. Shama Kol. You heard a sound, a voice. Oh Hein Olab, yes or no? Hochin Achrav. You can follow that Paschal Vein Bavin Nichushim Nichush. It doesn't have Nichush. The Reb Tzadok says, and I think the BSS says something similar that. A bas kol doesn't always mean a call from Shemaim. It's a chush in the heart. And it could be a bas kol means a call from Shemaim, but it's an echo, which is in your heart, a sense which comes from elsewhere. It could be deeply inside yourself. It could be coming from some higher level. But in any event, there's a sense which a person sometimes gets. This is a good thing, this is a bad thing, and this is something which you should follow because it's a message which either your neshama is giving you, could be coming from higher sources. It's something which you should take into account. Is it definitive? Obviously, because I'll say that there's an opinion in Hochen Echar Baskol. You can't follow Baskol necessarily all the time, but it's something which should be taken into account. So, your ears will hear something from behind you. This is the pathway in which you should go. So it's you hear something again. It doesn't necessarily be an external voice; it can be an internal voice as well. Rabbi Lezer Olaf Nui. Lezer went into his needs. Asa avtanis duramai. So avtanis duramai. So the Roman official, avtanis of the Romans, came. It says me'achrei the mashbir changes me'asrei. He picked him up out of his place. In other words, he banished him from the according to the Bnei Moshe, who says it is so about in a lavatory. He banished him from the place and took his place in the lavatory. And according to the Korban Eder, he wants to say it's just the Punya is a place, not that he went to the bathroom there, but he went to a place called Punya anyway, and he removed him from that place called Punya. Amar said, "Lo akimli." This is nobody else has ever pushed me away from a place like this. Uh, uh, I'm sorry. Lo akim lebarnash elali. He didn't. Uh, uh, he didn't take any. Didn't push anybody else away. Right. He only pushed me away. So I'm not going to leave here, this vicinity, until I know what's going on. What's going to be at the end. There was a snake there. Shari nafik v'yoiv lay. It came out and gave him to Avtunus a achas de ribo. A ribo seems like a big one. Yerushalmi Shabbos says it means a big blow. I guess I assume it bit him. There are other interpretations of Carbonato or the Pnei Moshe, but I think that's the most straightforward one. The Korah Love and the Rabbi Loza said about this situation, about this person of Tunis. I put a person in your place. So he said, you never can tell the reason why this Roman came and pushed me out, either from my place or from this, whether it's a place actually, or it's the bathroom, whatever it is. There's a reason for it. So therefore, he took his place. Chatan being the Bar Kapara, a certain student of Bar Kapara, have a nafik going out the mikta kisin. The Carbonated says have a nafik yotzik, so it's 18 went to cut trees. And the continue the Carbonated rose also chamikad slanim osim to enim. That one of the people who was there with figs, kites, beside they're drying them in the field. So it's going with that. Chamsi had kite. The Chive Parbatzra, he saw one of the people who's involved with the figs, that there's a snake running after that person who was working with figs. He said uh, the oh no, sorry. A when the fig workers saw a snake running after the student bar kapar, he said, the snake's running after you. Shavkiv Azale Basrei. So the snake uh, left the Talmud and followed the fig worker. So Karlove, he said also, Ve'etin Adam Tachtecha. He gave a person instead of you. Interesting article here. You expect the article of commenting on this. Says this mice seems astonishing because the snake was sent from Shemayim to bite this student. Nevertheless, it forsook him and went after the fig worker. After that, the guy did a good deed and warned the Talmud of the sakana. So he says it's perhaps that there was initially a decree of death on that Talmud because of certain sin, and therefore the snake was running after him to bite him. But after Talmud heard his sakana, he did tshuva, and therefore the gzera was nulled against him, and the gatherer of figs was then put to death by the snake on account of his own specific sins. But it doesn't actually say that the snake bit the fig gatherer. It just says he ran after him. The fig gatherer couldn't have gotten away. The main thing is, snake was distracted from the Talmud, who had not sensed it was there, and started running after the fig gatherer, who had sensed it was there, and maybe he was saved as he got saved. Okay, that doesn't mean he died instead of him, but he now became the object of the pursuit of the snake. Okay, Germania. It's interesting. Germany. After Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, the slave of Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, nothing boy Malavi Rabbi Hila. He went out and he wanted to accompany Rabbi Hila. So the company says Germania Echad Bnei Ashkenaz She'ever Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. Says a Germanic slave. As a killer Shaita, but this guy be Rabbi Hila. So while he was accompanying Rabbi Hila, a rabid dog came and wanted to attack Rabbi Hila. Shavke Garba Germani. So the German rebuked him. Shavke and the dog left him, but Basrei, and started following the slave. The Kar Lovely, and he called about him. Vetin Adam Tachtecha, the same passage. So the Kar, what's the chiddush here of the previous case? So it's interesting. The Yerushalmi Shabbos brings down from the Swedish Yerushalmi Vetin Edom Tachtecha, and that plays into the German aspect, right? That he was the Edomite was put in the place of Rabbi Hila. So again, presumably, hopefully, that the Ebed was also saved from the rabid dog. Doesn't say he was bitten. Bar Kapara came to a certain town. When he came in, he stubbed his finger, his finger or his toe. He went into the base manish and heard a child who was saying, reading of the pasuk, if with a kapo, which means alone, the Eved comes in alone as an Eved, he goes out alone as an Eved. In other words, so he doesn't get a shifra knanis from his master. So the Gemara, it was play in words, obviously, because he was no gave his etzba, right? He stubbed his toe. So that's im begapo yavo begapo yitzei, right? Amar said, Domeh shelo lo biyadia tachazu bilvad. So I think that only this blow is going to be forming the city. Everything else is going to be fine. And obviously, and that actually was what happened to him. So there's hashgacha here. Yochanan Rishim Lakish Hava mischamdin michmei Farvei the Shmuel. So they wanted to apoy actually. It should be they wanted to go. Wanted to see the great Shmuel, which means they wanted to go out to Chutzlaritz actually, because Shmuel lived in Chutzlaritz in order to talk to him and meet him and obviously resolve whatever fakers they had or talk and learning whatever. So I mean, so they go back and say, okay, let's go after a Baskol. So what is the Baskol here? So Avni Kumi and Sidra, they went from the base manager, and here's a new type Baskol, which you find many times in Chazal. Going back to Mordechai and him going to the base medrash and listen to what the children were saying there as a sign from Shamayim. What the children are saying in the Tinoch Base Rabbim is taken as a sign from Shamayim. So the Avin Komisitra Shami Kali went from the base heard the children saying that Shmuel makes a pasuk from Shmuel Aleph Chafal, which says that Shmuel died. The Simun, and they took this as a sign, as a simon, and they obviously, and that in fact was the case that Shmuel had been nifter, and they didn't. It was a good thing they didn't spend the time going to Bavel, which of course in the old days was a long and probably difficult journey. Rabbi Yonah, Rabbi Yossi, Salkim Abak, Rabbi Acha, Tava Toshish. Rabbi Yonah, Rabbi Yossi went up to go visit Rabbi Acha because he was weak. I'm going to say besides that, evidently they wanted to go. I mean, besides Shemiras Basko, they say let's go after again. Here says Shemiras Basko. So here we have another stage in that, which is they went out to listen to what they would hear, evidently. And evidently, they felt that anything they hear, perhaps is a simon from Shemaim. They heard a friend, a woman ask her friend, "Ife butzina," and the Korban says, "Derech she'elam el chaverta." She asked when in kava neira, they did your candle go out? Amrullah said, "Lo yitfa v'lo yitfe lo yitfe mitfe butzion d'Yisrael." She said they it will not be extinguished, was not extinguished, nor will be extinguished the canon of Israel. So evidently they understood they were still alive and they still went to visit him. Article has distinguishing the Bavli and Yerushalmi, saying the Bavli and talks about these cases, similar to the case about going to see Shmuel. And I think the Bavli might have said that actually he was still alive at the time. And that but they were being told by the child that they don't have to go visit. No, I don't see that here. The article, so maybe I'm wrong about that. Anyway, he wants to say the article wants to say that the Yerushalmi says that they went to hear and they heard without asking directly. In the Bible, he talks about asking directly, and maybe the distinction between the two. I don't think necessarily that's the case, but could be there is talk of distinction. The Yerushalmi holds whatever you hear, even indirectly, without directly posing a question. Yerushalmi also, the Bible also asks a question. So it's in the Bible specifically talking about children. In this case of a woman, there's no such parallel in the Bible where and Ron says it's for hearing for children. It's based on the Gemara and Baba Basra. It says that Yom Shni Nechra Beis Hamikdash Nitna Nevuah the Shaitim Ketanim. So that obviously wouldn't apply by Hitasa. So therefore, the Yerushalmi seems to be much more about hearing things by Ashgacha. Okay, so the Gemara goes on and says, Rabbi was passing the marketplace. He saw somebody selling a certain type of melutuma, and that is, Korban says, some sort of sweet dish. Amalei said, "Min ilan tachaya." So he said, "From this you're making parnasa." So Amalei say in, yes, shavki azalei. So he left in there. Basar Shah, he walked away. Basar Shah Avagabe an hour later, Rabbi Yochanan walked by him again. I mean, Rabbi Tzaliyah Lavi said, "Rabbi, dam for me. I mean, now you shite the lo zam this klum." So from that time you passed by, I haven't sold a thing. So Varmalei, Rabbi Yochanan said, "Shani atzrach, change your place." Pamim sheshini Hashem goreim. Sometimes changing your name changes your mazel. Sometimes the place, changing your place changes your mazel. Mashana mazel. So therefore, if it's not working out here, go somewhere else, and maybe there you'll have more success. Train Talmidim mean Rabbi Chanina have nafki miktok. He's seen two students that went out to cut wood. Chamtin chada astrologian. So a certain astrologer saw them. I mean, they say, these two people, they're going out, they're not coming back. Minafkin pogabon chatzav. As they were going out, they met a certain elderly man. Amalei said, "Zakuni mi, be zoich with me. Let's do a mitzvah with me. Do me a favor. These plus yoimin. The low time is klum. I have 3 days. I haven't tasted anything. V'havimun chari igul. They had a cake of figs. Katzi pagi. They cut off half it and gave it to him. Achab tzalein. He ate it and he died for them. And when tiskayim l'chon nafshechon, but then yoima, may your life be sustained today. As you sustain my life today. Nafkim Mishlam Chasim Mishlam. They went out in peace and came back in peace. There were some people standing there had heard the astrologer's prediction. They said to the astrologer, didn't you say you didn't train Minafkin Luchazin? These two people, when they're going out, they're not come back. Amar Idahacha Gavra Shkar, the Day Shakrin. He said, so Carmel says, he said, I had to confess that my astrology is obviously not true, right? I'm a liar because my astrology is false. I feel okay. Nevertheless, Ozim Pashmashun, they went and they checked out. Ashkun Chachnisa, they found a snake. The chada, and this is in a bunch of wood which they had brought back with them, cutting the wood. So they found a snake cut in two. Paga had to move one half in this part of the load. Paga had to move one in the other half of the load. Perhaps one of their loads, there was half in the other of their loads of the other half. Oh, Mativu. So evidently the astrologer himself went and found this in their load. In other words, the astrologer said, first of all, no, I have to cast aspersions on my whole astrology. But then he came back and he said, let me check their loads and see if I can find out what went on here. And he found the snake cut in half. Amru, so he says, actually it says Oznim Pashpashun. So the people went and checked, not the astrologer. I guess the astrologer just said, okay, I'm a fraud. But the people went. Amr, they said, what good deed did you do today? Here we verse again to singular. It sounds they're talking to the astrologer. So maybe there were a bunch of people standing there together with the astrologer, and they all checked together. And they said in any event. So here the dialogue does go back to the astrologer. So the time they told him the astrologer the story. Amr said, "Ma'u gavi yochel avid." What can I do? In other words, it's talking about himself, the third person, of course. The lone yudaim mispayis b'palgediku. The God of the Jews is satisfied with half a cake of figs. Beautiful statement. In other words, you do a little bit of tzedakah tatzim u'moves. So the article has a whole discussion here of the attitude of Judaism towards astrology. Whether astrology could be true, is not true. We're going to go with the assumption that the astrologer here is not necessarily seeing through the stars. He could have had a sense, ESP, whatever. Obviously, there was something significant here. That's when Yerushalmi. Rabbi Chuna would tell the following story. Chad Gior, there was a certain ger. Have a astrologist who used to be an astrologer. Chadzman Asabay Mefak. So he says once he wanted to go out and something. I'm gonna say Kedon Nafkin. He said, "Am I going to go out now? My astrology tells me it's the wrong thing to do." Chazam, I went back and said, Klumis Dabikas Bahalda Musa Kadisha. What reason is there any reason I joined this holy nation? Lolim Mifresh and Milai, was it not to separate myself from this from these things, from my astrology, from my superstition? Nafik al Shmei Debarion. Let us go out in the name of our Creator. Put it in my one exclamation mark next to this. Karev Michsa. So he got close to, according to the Carbon 8, it said, according to Moshe I have here, Carlios Nishchav Necha Michaya Ra Achas. He got close to being eaten by a wild animal. He gave him his donkey, ate it. Tokach nitzal barach lo. And that is a result. He uh, was saved. But the Yerushalmi Kibshuto says much more simple. Karev lemichsa. He got close to the meches, to the customs, to the collector. He gave him his donkey and the donkey, although a little bit difficult what it means to eat. The tax collector wanted to eat the donkey. So it's another girsa here. Um, the Yerushalmi Kibshuto brings down va'afloye, and he brings there's a whole discussion of very similar girsos, and there's more here. Va'afloye means, but he knocked him down. Yes, either Moichas knocked the donkey down, the knocked the gear down. Maybe somebody was knocked down, but nothing happened besides that. Man Garim laid the appeal. So who caused him to fall? Which sounds like the girsa of uh, the uh, the Yerushalmi Kibshuto. Begin the year because he thought l'chatchila not to go out. Man Garim to save. He said what brought him to be saved. Whether it's from the wild animal or from the moiches, begin the tusachis abari because he relied on his creator. Like he said, Amar lo. He said, kol menachesh sofa love olav. So evidently the ger said to not sure what Amar lo means. Evidently the ger said to himself. In the Shinun Schos it says here Amar Levi. So so in that case it's a separate statement. Amar Levi, love. Anybody who has this kind of superstition and does things through superstition, he's gonna cause him problems in the end. It's like I guess a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you follow things of Nachash are going to occur to you. My timer, what pasi does not to be superstitious? Nachash be Yaakov. It says it should be no Nachash in Yaakov. So, but we dash in this low. It says there should not be, as if it says it low with a vav. Ki lo Nachash. It's going to happen to you. In other words, superstition is like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Anybody who doesn't follow superstition, he has an inner room, so to speak, an inner uh, boundary, an inner circle with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, even closer to Malach Shais. My time, what pasuk teaches us this? So as Karma explains, Malachim are going to ask Am Yisrael, Ma Pa'al what HaKadosh Baruch Hu is doing, because since they were not Menachesh, they had they went Tumas Libam Tanchem, right? They were Tvam Hashem Lokecha, so therefore Mida HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells them what's going on, and Malachim who can't go as far close in have to ask Am Yisrael. Amar Achina Beit Ravo Kivachatzi Yamav Shel Olam Hayoso Rosha Omed. So the Karma says, Dain B'Shtas Beis Alavin Tov Pei Vav Labrias Olam, the year 2486. Labrias Olam. After this time, that's when Bilam got this nevuah. So just that was considered to be halfway through to history, and therefore ka'es, when an initial amount like this passes, the nevuah should come back to Am Yisrael. Ka'es, just like this time passed. Then, and after that, another ace passed like this. Yom Yaakov Yisrael Ma'apa'akel. So, to figure it out, how much that's supposed to be. And anyway, without going into math, sometime before the year 5000. So the Bush should have come back to Am Yisrael sometime before the year 5000. And the Korbanei says, Klama Kios, Ace Kates, in Mashubi Sov, I'm Senu, Yerushalmi Avu Mashavu, on account of Averis, that as many of the Kitzim have passed, that Kates passed as well. Omar Rabbi Yirmiyah Bar Ben Elazar. Elazar said, I've seen a baskol yosmif for tzetzes b'olei tzadikim. A baskol will burst out, and in the tents of tzadikim, the says, Kol mishapal im kel, anybody who worked together with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in turn mitzvahs, and Yavovi Yitos Choreh will come and take his reward. Rabbi Hashem Rabbi Abba Kana said, "Osikash Baruch Hu lasos mechitzasim shel tzadikim lefunim chatzon shel mechalach yisharis." Similar to what we said before, the area where the tzadikim are going to be in Olam Haba is going to be more internal than the area where the malachim are. Malach yisharis shalim osam omrim. Malachim are going to ask them and say, "Mapa okay, what is Hakadosh Baruch Hu doing?" Ma'arolachem Hakadosh Baruch Hu, meaning was Hashem taught you. Amar Rabbi Levi Bar Chiyusa v'lo kvar asakim olam hazeh. Did not something happen similar to this in this world? That says, Nebuchadnezzar. I saw the Nebuchadnezzar responded and said, Vamar, and he said, Oh, Anoch Hazik Uvrin Arba. I saw 4 people. Shai Malchim Kol going in the fiery furnace. And there was no wound among them. In other words, they were not burnt at all. So obviously, they weren't wounded if they're walking there, just walking there, Chanai, Mishal, Nazaria, and someone else walking in the furnace. So, Amlamishu, Swisim, Nisrapu. They were Swisim, they were not able to have children, they were healed. Anyway, so what's the proof from here? It says, it doesn't say the fourth one look like, the first one looked like Machalokim. It says, Revia Dami Labar Elohim. So there was the fourth one who was behind Chanai Mishal Messiah. He looked like a malach. So therefore, there was the Chanai Mishal Messiah were Kaviyachol more. They were in front. They were higher than the malach. Hani Mechabshi in front of Esur. They Malach Yard Latzil on the malach went down to stay them. They didn't need them. She's Chusam v'tzikasam malach leifneim. Their schus and their merit went in front of them. And they went and they extinguished the flame in front of the malach. Shechema Nira was seen behind them. Dami lebar Elohim. That the probably those words Dami lebar Elohim should be in the line before. If you had the Revia, Dami lebar Elohim. Amar Ruvain. The Mashbiach changed it to Rabbi Ruvain. The name of Amora. So he said, about to show your Malach was such a lahura shia upon Papiv. At that time, Malach came out down and smoked the Russia on his mouth. Not just the same Malach who was in the furnace or a different Malach. So he said, Takimi lach. Fix your words. Ubar Islay. Does God have a son? There are some people who don't say Brich Shmei. Yekas especially, I don't know about other people, and perhaps this is why they don't say it, because it says you're not supposed to say Bar Elohim. So he was referring to Malach, because the Kodesh Baruch doesn't have any children. Of course, that's polemic against Christianity as well. Nebuchadnezzar went back and fixed his name. Chazar Umar, he went back and he said, Brich Elohon, the blessed is the God, the Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego. That was the Babylonian names of Chanem Mishal Nazaria. Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego. The Shlach Breles, because he doesn't say he sent his son, Baruchim, El the Shlach Malachei. He sent his Malach. Shazve, Sheziv Lavdoi, the Yisrachzu Aloi, and saved his Avodim who relied, his servants of Chanem Mishal Nazaria, who relied upon him. We shall be Zechat Yeshua's like Chanem Mishal Nazaria.